After the world has become a zombie apocalypse, a group of survivors must take a girl to an amusement park overrun by hordes of zombies. Today we're going to recap the story of the movie, Zombieland, from 2010. In front of the US White House, a cameraman records a scene of chaos and destruction. Secret Service cars are overturned, vans are on fire, and there are no people around. Suddenly, a man in a security suit with a deformed face appears. He has been turned into a zombie, and when he sees the cameraman, he runs towards him, grabs him and bites his leg. It is then revealed by the young man called Columbus that the world has turned into Zombieland after the zombies took over the planet. As a result, thousands of people have been infected and have become hungry zombies. Even so, Columbus is one of the few who survived, thanks to the set of rules he created to escape the monsters. One night, he goes to fill up his car at the gas station and takes the opportunity to go to the bathroom. However, just as he was about to enter, a zombie opens the door and starts chasing him. To make matters worse, another infected person appears and Columbus has to follow his first rule, cardio, to run from the monsters. He manages to get to the car and starts it as quickly as he can. The situation seems to be under control, but from the passenger seat, another zombie appears and tries to attack him. In the confusion, Columbus loses control and crashes his car in front of a store. The crash sends the monster flying off the windshield, but the young man remains safe thanks to another important rule, seat belts. However, the zombie gets up, jumps on top of the car and tries to reach through the window to grab the young man. Even with difficulty, Columbus manages to load his shotgun and shoots the monster, which ends up destroyed on the ground. However, the young man makes sure and puts one of his most important rules into practice, the double tap. The next morning, Columbus continues along the road until a car comes speeding up and stops next to him. A man in a cowboy hat appears from the vehicle and the two point their guns at each other. Afraid of being eliminated, Columbus makes a sign and asks the guy for a ride, who agrees to take him. He introduces himself as Tallahassee and says that they will travel to a nearby town and then go their separate ways. On the road, the cowboy decides to stop when he sees an overturned candy truck. He wants to find a Twinkie anyway and calls the young man to investigate the vehicle. But first, Columbus does a quick warm-up. After that, they open the doors of the truck and only find coconut sweets, which makes Tallahassee angry. Even so, he doesn't think of giving up the Twinkie and the two continue on their journey, until they stop again for Columbus to go to the toilet. While checking the bathroom, which is another of his essential rules, the young man reflects on his greatest fear before zombies, which was the dreaded clowns. He also remembers his first encounter with a zombie, which took place one night in his apartment. While he was playing video games in his bedroom, his neighbor suddenly knocked on the door, desperate. He lets her in and the girl says that a strange guy chased her out of a bar and tried to bite her. Columbus then tells her she can stay in the apartment to calm down and they both fall asleep on the sofa. Hours later, the young man wakes up, but right next to him, his neighbor has turned into a zombie and is attacking him. Columbus runs to the kitchen and tries to defend himself with a blender, but the glass falls and he has to run away again. When he gets to the bedroom, he tries to close the door, but the zombie puts its foot in to stop him and manages to get in. The young man runs to the bathroom, only for the woman to throw him to the floor and try to bite him. Columbus then uses the bathtub curtain to protect himself and tries to hit her with whatever he can find in the cupboard, but to no avail. With no time to lose, he grabs the toilet seat and hits her on the head, which falls unconscious. The young man then closes the bathroom door and runs into the living room. However, the zombie manages to open the handle and runs towards him. Left with no choice, Columbus delivers a double tap with the lid to its head, and it is gone for good. Back in the present, Columbus and Tallahassee talk on the road until they see a zombie devouring a man's body. Columbus gets upset, but the cowboy, without thinking twice, goes ahead and hits the zombie with the car door. Hours later, the pair stop at a market, once again looking for Twinkies. Tallahassee grabs some guns from the trunk and they enter the market, which is apparently empty. The cowboy picks up his banjo and plays a song, which makes a huge zombie appear. The monster runs towards him, but he hits it right in the mouth with the banjo and then finishes it off with several blows to the head. Suddenly, another zombie appears behind Columbus, who runs scared, but Tallahassee grabs his club and strikes the unliving man until he's eliminated. Finally, another huge zombie appears and the young man offers his gun to the cowboy, but he prefers to take his garden shears and eliminate the monster with ease. After the confrontation, the two continue to search for Twinkies until a beautiful girl appears and asks for help. Her name is Wichita and she takes them to a warehouse where her younger sister, Little Rock, is. The girl says she's been bitten and asks for their help to put her out of her misery. Reluctantly, Tallahassee takes Columbus's shotgun and prepares to shoot her. However, before she fires, Wichita despairs and asks her to do it herself. He then hands the gun to her, who is moved to point it at her sister, but instead of firing, the girl points it at Tallahassee and Columbus. The two sisters reveal that it was all a hoax in order to take their car, their weapons and their supplies, which leaves the two perplexed. Even so, they leave with the vehicle and travel to the amusement park, Pacific Playland, a place that is supposed to be free of zombies. Hours later, Columbus and Tallahassee are roaming the streets in search of a new car, but the cowboy is too angry and takes his rage out on a van. After destroying everything, he jumps off the roof of the car with more spirit, but twists his foot on the way down. After all, he didn't follow his friend's rule to warm up first. Fortunately, a few minutes later, while exploring one of the neighborhoods, they find a powerful vehicle in one of the houses. Tallahassee checks to see if there's anyone inside, but only finds two severed hands stuck to the steering wheel. Meanwhile, Columbus follows another important rule: check the back seat, and finds a package full of heavy weapons. Once again armed and motorized, the two get back on the road, but Tallahassee wants to follow the girls to get revenge for what they did. On the way, they find the stolen car with a distress call. The cowboy goes there with his gun, but doesn't find the sisters. He then gets back into his car to drive away, without realizing that Little Rock was hiding in the passenger seat. The girl then stands up, points the gun at them and tells Columbus to blow the horn. Then Wichita appears hiding in the field, and again, the two manage to trick them, but this time they decide to give them a lift. Halfway there, Tallahassee manages to take Little Rock's gun and points it at her, but when she sees this, Wichita stops the car and also pulls out her pistol. Faced with the confusion, Columbus gets angry and tells them to keep going, because the zombies are the real problem. Reluctantly, they all decide to calm down and resume their journey. When night falls, the group decides to stop at a native decoration store. They wonder if anyone wants to go in first, and Columbus considers the idea to impress Wichita, but he doesn't want to disobey his "don't be a hero" rule. He then leaves the honors to Tallahassee, who rings the doorbell, and immediately, a zombie appears inside the store. He runs to the door, but the cowboy, who was hiding on the side, shoots him in the head, and then Columbus finishes him off with a second shot. After that, they start looking through the items in the store, until the young man finds a table with perfumes and tries one of them. Tallahassee smells it and soon realizes that the young man wants to impress Wichita and makes fun of him for it. Columbus returns the provocation and splashes perfume on the cowboy, who angrily punches the young man in the arm and knocks over a vase. This act sounds amusing to everyone, and they begin to destroy the entire store. Thanks to this moment of distraction, Columbus creates another rule for his list: have fun with the little things. After that, the group continues their journey and reaches Hollywood. There, they stop at the Chinese theater, and suddenly, two zombies appear to attack them. At that moment, Wichita and Columbus shoot at them and pick up a map with the addresses of the big movie stars. While searching the map, the cowboy has the idea of going to a special mansion, which has the initials B and M on the gate. As they enter, they realize that the house belongs to none other than Bill Murray, the great movie star. However, the place seems to be empty. They then split up to search other rooms, and, while Wichita and Tallahassee look through the rooms, Columbus and Little Rock find a movie theater inside the mansion. Seconds later, in another room, a mysterious man gets out of bed. He reaches the room where Tallahassee is and realizes that the man is Bill Murray himself, in zombie form. Without wasting any time, Wichita appears and hits the zombie with a golf club, but to his surprise, he screams in pain. Bill Murray then explains that he's still alive and that he dressed up to avoid being attacked by other zombies. When he hears this, Tallahassee is delighted to meet his idol. The three of them spend some time together, and the cowboy realizes his dream of performing the classic Ghostbusters scene with the actor. Later, the three of them go to the mansion's movie theater, where they find Columbus and Little Rock watching Ghostbusters. Bill Murray decides to play a joke on them, puts on his wig and pretends to be a zombie. However, when he sees the unliving, the unexpected happens, and the young man fires his gun at the actor. Everyone is shocked, especially Columbus, who tries to apologize for what he's done. The actor accepts the apology, says goodbye to everyone, and, moments later, the group performs an impromptu ceremony in honor of actor Bill Murray. When evening comes, the four of them gather in the living room of the mansion and talk about the best and worst things that have happened in Zombieland. Tallahassee then tells them about the perishment of his young son because of the zombies, which makes everyone emotional. Minutes later, the cowboy pulls himself together and takes target practice in a room. Soon after, Little Rock decides to practice too, but she misses her shots. The cowboy advises her to take a deep breath before firing. The girl obeys and finally manages to hit the bull's eye. Meanwhile, Wichita invites Columbus over for wine, and the two enjoy the evening together. However, Just as they were about to reciprocate each other's feelings, Tallahassee shows up and ruins the moment. The next morning, Wichita decides to run away again with Little Rock, as she is still afraid to trust them. The sisters then continue their journey, until they finally arrive at the amusement park. There, Wichita turns the power back on and all the toys start working again. The place seems to be empty, and so the two go to play on a pirate ship. Unfortunately, the lights and noise begin to attract dozens of zombies around the park. Realizing that they are approaching, Wichita and Little Rock get off the ride, shoot the zombies and run for their lives. Meanwhile, Columbus and Tallahassee discuss the sisters' escape. The cowboy wants to continue his journey to Mexico, but the young man wants to go after Wichita to reveal his feelings for her. Unbeknownst to them, the two girls are struggling to survive the ever-growing hordes of zombies in the park. They finally reach the car and Wichita tries to start it, but can't. The unliving surround them and start attacking the car. One of them manages to break the window and tries to pull Little Rock out, but her sister starts the car and drives as fast as she can. Even so, several zombies manage to get hold of the vehicle and try to open the doors anyway. With no other option, the sisters jump out of the car, which speeds off into the river and sinks. Meanwhile, more zombies appear and the two continue to run and shoot at the approaching monsters. Far away, Columbus is determined to go after the girls and is annoyed by Tallahassee's attitude in leaving them behind. He sets off on a motorcycle, but because he's overweight, the young man overbalances and falls into the garden. Seeing all this, the cowboy takes pity on Columbus and decides to go with him to the park. Meanwhile, the sisters run away from the zombies, until they find a ride in the shape of a tower. They turn it on and climb into the seats, while firing at the enemies who are getting closer and closer. Fortunately, the ride is activated and the seat is raised to the top of the tower, which puts the sisters out of reach of the zombies. However, many of them begin to surround the place and some try to climb the tower. To make matters worse, the ride's remote control makes the seat go up and down several times, and in one of them, the sisters get too close to the ground. Just then, one of the zombies manages to climb up and tries to grab Little Rock's leg. Luckily, the seats rise back up to the top of the tower, which causes the hanging zombie to overbalance and fall crushed to the ground. The sisters are momentarily saved, but the ride prepares to turn off and the seats come back down. At that moment, Little Rock tries to shoot the control box to deactivate it, but misses. Fortunately, she remembers Tallahassee's advice, so she takes a deep breath and fires another shot, which hits the control box. Thanks to this, the seats stop in the middle of the tower. Minutes later, Columbus and Tallahassee finally reach the entrance to the park, which is blocked by zombies. The two aren't intimidated and, as the car turns a corner, the cowboy pulls out his gun and shoots them all. Soon after, he finishes them off by smashing them with the wheels of his car. After all, the most important rule in Zombieland is to always do the double tap. Inside the park, Columbus looks for the girls and finds their car sunk in the water. Fortunately, they realize that the two of them have arrived and scream for help. Seeing that the two are trapped in the tower, the two decide to split up, with the cowboy in charge of attracting the zombies with his horn, while the young man sets off to rescue the sisters. Thanks to this, most of the monsters that surrounded Wichita and Little Rock went after Tallahassee, but some still stayed to climb the tower. Then it's time to put an end to the zombie horde. Tallahassee gets on a flying merry-go-round and shoots all the zombies that come his way. At the same time, Columbus runs towards the girls, but is chased by other zombies. Seeing that he has been surrounded by them, the young man goes to hide in a horror house. One of the zombies tries to capture him, but is trapped by one of the animatronics, and the young man seizes the chance to finish him off. Meanwhile, in the tower, Wichita and Little Rock shoot at the zombies trying to climb, but their bullets are about to run out. Nearby, Tallahassee gets on a cart and rides down the roller coaster. Several zombies begin to appear on the course and he shoots them all, one by one. Suddenly, one of them jumps out from behind the cart, but the cowboy shoots it from behind and the zombies is thrown into the air. At the same time, Columbus tries to leave the haunted house, but is once again surprised by a zombie that tries to attack him. He quickly gets rid of it with his shotgun. However, the situation begins to deteriorate. More zombies continue to climb the tower, just as the bullets from Wichita and Little Rock run out. Tallahassee is surrounded by several of them and jumps into a tent. He then closes the bars, puts ammunition on the tables and prepares his pistols for one last offensive. Columbus manages to escape from the haunted house, only for more zombies to chase him. Luckily, he manages to outrun them, who are hit by a pendulum-shaped ride and thrown away. Nearby, Tallahassee manages, against all the odds, to take out dozens of zombies thanks to his pistols and his precise aim. Soon after, Columbus finally catches up with the girls, but to his surprise, a zombie in the shape of a clown appears in front of him. Even seeing his greatest fear in front of him, the young man decides to disobey one of the most important rules, because now is the time to be a hero. So, even with his shotgun empty of bullets, he finds a sledgehammer nearby and arms himself with it. The clown zombie then rushes towards him, but Columbus hits him with the sledgehammer right in the stomach and, as the man falls to the ground, he finishes him off with a blow that crushes the monster's head. But there's no time to celebrate the victory. A zombie manages to reach the girls and is about to bite Wichita's foot. Columbus runs to the controls and reactivates the ride, which causes the zombie to fall to the ground and the sisters to get off safely. In gratitude for Columbus's heroic attitude, Wichita finally recognizes her feelings for him and the two kiss, which leaves Little Rock disgusted, while Tallahassee is proud of the young man. Soon after, Columbus and the sisters go after the cowboy and find him in the candy store. However, when they enter, the young man sees his friend destroying the whole place because he can't find his much-loved Twinkie. Suddenly, they hear a noise coming from the utility room and, out of instinct, Columbus shoots at the door. When they opened it, there were only rats in the room. Unfortunately, the young man's shot hit a box full of Twinkies, which makes Tallahassee even sadder. To make matters worse, they hear the sound of the car outside and think the girls are going to abandon them again. To their surprise, as they leave the store, the two are waiting for them, and best of all, Little Rock delivers a Twinkie to Tallahassee, who finally gets his legendary item. After arriving in Pacific Playland and defeating a horde of zombies, the four finally set off together on another journey through Zombieland. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.